I'm here at the 9th Annual International Concussion Summit put on by the DSBN. World-renowned experts have gathered to discuss and promote awareness around concussions and provide broader access to the latest research in prevention, diagnosis, and treatment.
When we first started the conference, it was about what is a concussion and how do we identify a concussion, how do we get our students out of the play, and that was the main focus. But now our focus is how do we get them back in once they've had the concussion, once they have treatment, how we get them back into the classroom for learning, and also how to get them back on the field or on the ice or on the playing field.
Rowan's Law came into effect in 2018. What kind of impact has that had?
Rowan's Law had a huge impact, especially in Ontario, because not only in schools, but all the recreational teams and organizations are all committed to the Rowan's Law and identifying concussion and making sure that these kids are safe. So I think from a provincial perspective, Ontario is leading the way there, and other provinces need to follow and need to put legislation in so that we are educated, that coaches are educated, and the athletes are educated, and also students are educated, because it's not only on the playing field.
Dr. Chris Nowinski was a featured guest at the conference. His work on the topic has made him a sought-after speaker at conferences like this around the world.
What I'm going to try to drive home today is that sports hasn't always been designed in a way that recognized what we're doing to brains, and now that we know, we need to change. And we have a campaign called Stop Hitting Kids in the Head as part of our NCTE work. We literally need to change youth sports. So if your child's playing tackle football, they shouldn't be tackling until they're 14. If they're playing rugby, they really shouldn't be tackling until they're 14, until their brain's more developed, till they can learn how to protect themselves and be coordinated. They shouldn't be heading soccer balls, in my opinion, until they're 14. None of that makes sense. The pros do it because it's good for entertainment, but why would you ask a child to use their head to ram a projectile with velocity back in another direction when you know it's going to hurt their brain eventually if they do it too much?
Dr. Julie Stam works at the University of Wisconsin as a researcher. Her recent book has become a great resource for how concussions and brain trauma impact younger athletes.
Yeah, I wrote my book because I was frustrated about what I was seeing out there in some of the conversations, some misconceptions that were out there, and I wanted to put all of the information I could in one spot so that a parent or a coach or a school administrator could read it and understand kind of the full scope of both concussions and repetitive brain trauma in sports.
Are we starting to see the ripple effects in terms of number of youth participating in higher risk sports now that it's more known about concussion?
Yeah, and that's unfortunate in a way. We're seeing fewer athletes playing certain sports and parents who are very concerned about their children playing certain sports, and it's understandable because of these concerns about concussions and brain trauma. That's why we need to have alternatives. So flag football or flag rugby, not checking in hockey, which is already delayed until age 13 or 15 in some leagues. These are great steps to expose kids to sports and allow them to play these sports in a safer way. We'll never prevent every concussion. We're not wrapping kids in bubble wrap, but we want them to be able to play these sports without those repetitive impacts and high-risk activities or parts of the sport that might cause a concussion.
The 9th Annual International Concussion Summit provided access to experts in the field who offered invaluable information to those in attendance. Reporting for The Source, I'm Andrew Perry.